A grueling speedway season is drawing to its close. Many teams have fallen by the wayside. Eastbourne Eagles and the Wolverhampton Wolves are all that are left standing. But their largest battle remains. On 2 tracks and 2 nights, one victor must emerge for the right to call themselves Sky Sports Elite League champions.
Six grueling months of rough and tumble around Britain have come to this, a wonderful night in Wolverhampton, Munmore Green lit up and ready to go. It's the Wolverhampton Wolves up against the league leaders, the Eastbourne Eagles, first against second, live here on Sky Sports, the first of 2 legs of our very first grand final. Right now, the riders themselves are on the back of several Harleys, so the Hogs are out on track, but we're focusing on the Eagles and the Wolves tonight. Great atmosphere once again here, as it has been for the last couple of weeks, while the Wolverhampton Wolves made their way to this point, and their fans have been with them all the way. A huge crowd, even bigger than it was last week when they made it through against Coventry. But tonight is the one that counts, the first of 2 legs. A warm good evening to you. Gary Havelock is here with me, and a real atmosphere tonight. You've seen the size of the crowd here, and I think the riders are feeling it too. Our first grand final, and it's very different in speedway terms, this.
Yeah, it certainly is. Obviously something that's new to English speedway. They've tried it out in Sweden and Poland last few years, and you know, it's really interesting because to be honest, the first couple of playoffs have been a bit one-sided, but I'm sure tonight we've got the 2 best teams over the year in the league, and I think they're really up for it.
You've been talking to the riders. What do they think?
Yeah, obviously they're all pretty nervous. It's a big night, you know, first time in the playoffs, and you know, I think it's going to come down to the teams are really evenly matched, and the tracks are both similar, small, tight tracks, and it's going to come down to who wants it the most, I think.
Well, let's find out who does want it the most. Let's find out about these teams, starting with the Wolverhampton Wolves. Look now at the Eastbourne Eagles and how they are looking tonight. What are your thoughts on this team?
Well, everybody knows what Mark's all about. He used to ride here at Wolverhampton, so he's obviously going to be the key for them. Joe Screen, you know, he's a winner. He's obviously being captain. He's really going to want to get the lads going. But I think down at the bottom there, Savalas Cloughton and especially Adam Shields, he's done quite a bit of guesting in the Elite League this year, and he's had a few fantastic meetings and a couple of average ones. So, you know, I think a lot's going to rest on him as well.
Well, one of the men in the thick of it once again. We've let him go wild tonight. We let him out the studio, and I'm sure he will be going wild. He's our very own Kelvin Tatum. He's right in the crowd. What's the latest, Kel?
Well, it really is quite spectacular here. The turnout again here at Monmouth Green is just superb, and you know, I can't really, there's such a super support they've got here. It's tremendous. But we're going to have a couple of quick chats with some of the fans here. We're going to have a quick chat with this young lad here. Firstly, what's your name?
Alex.
Alex, and you're quite clearly a Wolverhampton fan. Firstly, who's your favourite rider in the team?
Adam Skornicki and his 360s.
Yeah, they really are very impressive. Keep a lookout for those if he does well tonight. And who do you think Wolverhampton are going to win tonight?
It'll be tough, but yeah, just about.
How many points do you think they need to win by?
4 or 8. 4 to 5.
Okay, all right, so it's going to be a tough night for Wolverhampton. Thanks very much for the Alex for the moment. We're going to turn for an Eastbourne supporter here now to see what he thinks of it. Firstly, what's your name?
Jamie.
Jamie, and who's your favourite rider in the Eastbourne setup?
Mark Loam and Joe Green.
Oh, you've got 2 favourite riders, and who do you think is going to do the business for you tonight?
Mark Loam.
Okay, and what about you, Dad? What do you think?
Oh, Mark Loam, definitely Mark Loam, all the way.
Okay, so it looks like the hot favourite from Eastbourne side's Mark Loam, but certainly a lot of excitement down here, Jonathan. I'm sure we're going to see some great action.
Well, you can guarantee, thanks, Kel, he'll be here, there and everywhere tonight. Thanks very much. And it's an interesting point, and as always with Eastbourne, he's come into this team, and wherever he rides, Mark Loam is a big factor. If he has a big night tonight, they're looking good, aren't they?
Yeah, you know, Matt's proved consistently over the years he's a world-class performer, and you know, the fact that he used to ride here at Wolverhampton is probably going to help him quite a bit. He'll be able to, you know, give the other lads tips and stuff on the setup, and you know, all depends. But he's got to go out in heat 1 and really set the tone for the meeting for them.
We just saw that one of the Wolves fans was saying that Adam Skornicki, he's not fully fit. I talked to him earlier tonight. He needs to have a big night, and when he has a big night, you mentioned that middle order already, he needs one of those big nights, doesn't he?
Yeah, you know, Adam's the sort of rider, he's very flamboyant, and you know, he's a real crowd pleaser with his wheelies and his donuts and things like that, and you know, if he has a good night, he gets bubbly going, and he passes on to the rest of the team and gets the spirit really buzzing, you know. And
we can't reiterate it, it's so important because this is 2 legs, so it really, I mean, you expect Wolves to win this tonight, but having said that, Eastbourne, if they can pull something special off tonight, it's going to be easy in a cruise surely next week.
Yeah, well, I mean, over the last couple of seasons, Eastbourne has probably been one of the strongest teams coming here to Wolves. Most teams find it really hard to come here because it's such a small, technical sort of track, but with Eastbourne being a similar sort of circuit, they usually perform pretty well here, and I think the past results even this season have been very close, and I'm sure Eastbourne are going to run them very, very tight. Yeah, it's going to be a great evening, I'm sure. Well, Wolves, the team themselves, were relaxing this afternoon. They had a trip round Molineux just to take in the atmosphere. Of course, Wolves, the football team, won last night, so maybe that's a good omen. But here's their route to the final tonight. With both Carlson brothers and David Howe on board, the Wolves were looking pre-season favourites.
Just lost a coin toss, and I think that's all we lose.
With only 1 defeat in May, the Carlsons shone again with a win against Peterborough. And then the highlight of the season, the home win over Eastbourne. The return leg against Eastbourne was another story, leaving Wolves only their 2nd defeat of the season.
We've had a very poor meeting, you know, we've got no excuses whatsoever.
In June and July, the Wolves continued on form. But bad weather and an injury to Daniel Nurmark saw the re-signing of Pole Adam Skornicki. A tightly contested derby at Coventry saw more injury and bad luck for the Wolves and a loss 47-43. Down at Poole, it was always bound to be a close matchup. The meeting came down to heat 15 and the Wolves took victory, 44-46. A loss at Peterborough ensured the Wolves a 2nd-place playoff berth and home advantage. A dubious decision in the first match helped Wolves to victory against Peterborough and into the semi-final. It was an easy win against a weakened Coventry side, and some spectacular riding saw Wolves through to the grand final with Eastbourne. Well, that's how Wolverhampton made it there, but what about Eastbourne Eagles? Well, they were topping the charts for most of the season. Here's their route to the final. 2002 saw Eastbourne gear up to claim back their league title that they lost in 2001. Along with the usual suspects, there were 2 new names, Mark Loam and Savalas Clouting. In April, Eastbourne were 5th in the league, but this was to be a month where the Eagles would prove their strength in depth.
It looks very much now as though the Eastbourne Eagles are in control again.
A 60-30 dismantling of Bellevue was not a one-off. 5 wins moved them to 2nd in the league. May saw their continued dominance by the Eagles.
It'll be a marvellous ride by the reserve Clouting, and this could be what turns the meeting.
Every rider was scoring well, and Eastbourne was showing that they were the complete package. Their team riding proved key to great results home and away. And this moved them to top of the Sky Sports Elite League. With June came a host of injuries, but the management's choice of guest riders proved successful.
The guests of that Eastbourne crowd.
Despite a weakened side, life at the top of the table was becoming a familiar one. 3 losses in July, their worst month of the season. Time for a rethink. In spite of this, they managed to maintain that league top spot. August and more injury setbacks for the Eagles. Guests were being called on again, but it didn't stop their winning form. Wolves threatened for the top spot, but by September 7th, Eastbourne had clinched their first place in Speedway's inaugural Grand Final. Yeah, so that's how both these two teams got there, and I wonder, do you believe that they are the best two teams that have made it through?
Yeah, as much as it pains me to say, obviously, you know, the results over the season have proved that they finished first and second in the league, and even with the new system of the top 5 in the playoffs, you know, Wolverhampton have come through and they're in the final against Eastbourne.
Just watching it there, you do get the impression that Eastbourne, they're all patting each other on the back. There's real sportsmanship. They seem the most together package.
Yeah, I think they are, but, you know, to be honest, they've won the league, you know, and now it's theirs to lose, whereas Wolverhampton, they came second, so they've got nothing to lose and everything to gain, really. So it's a bit of a tricky situation for Eastbourne. They've got to actually go out and win it all over again, but, you know, it's going to be tight, but I think they can do it.
Well, the coin toss tonight could prove vital. So without further ado, let's find out what happens now. Kelvin Tatum has got the captains.
Thanks very much, Jonathan. It is a vital part of the match. Of course, that coin toss could make all the difference early on. I'm going to ask Peter Carlson here to do the coin toss and ask Joe to call as Peter does that.
Heads, please.
And heads it is. So, Joe, you've won the toss?
You're going to have 1 and 3. You know, Mark wants 1 and sort of easy games, really.
You want to keep your top man happy. Joe, obviously, just a quick chat before we get on with the action. An important coin toss, gates 1 and 3, no hesitation?
Especially in the first one, yeah. The track's starts very grippy and the track's very slick, so it's going to be very important to get that first corner, you know, especially in the first few.
And your whole team as a whole, they're up for it, fired up?
Yeah, we've been up for all year. That's why we're top of the league at the moment, so we'll see.
Okay, well, good luck tonight, Joe. Quick chat with Peter. Good, strong stuff there from Joe. Obviously, you'd had a super performance here against Coventry last week. Looking for the same sort of thing tonight?
Definitely, yeah. We know we've got to take a healthy lead with us down to Eastbourne for next week, so we're going to give it all.
Yeah, it's been a big day for you, of course. You've been to Molyneux with a bit, sort of like a bit of a get-together at lunchtime. How did that work out?
Yeah, we've done the same thing, you know, for the whole playoff, and we're getting ready as a team, you know, preparing ourselves and talking through what we need to do on the track.
Okay, well, the best of luck tonight. I'm sure it's going to be a tough, hard-fought match. I'm sure that Peter's going to be going good, great guns. I think, Jonathan, this is going to be the most exciting meeting of the season so far.
Well, I'm sure it will be, and we mentioned that coin toss, so important, but also those first 4 heats. Just give me your relevance on what you've just seen and how important those first 4 heats are going to be.
Well, especially somewhere a tight track like this, you know, obviously getting gates 1 and 3 is a real big bonus for any team, especially the away team coming here, because you know, if you lose the toss and the home team clicks into the groove straight away, obviously you're chasing a deficit to start with, and you know, as the away team goes, you've got to get as many points in the bag early on as you can.
Well, it is a big night of Speedway tonight. The first leg of our Grand Final. Remember, next week we head back down to Eastbourne to finish it all off. The whole season can be won or lost tonight and next Wednesday. But it's a big night tonight. It's also a big night next Saturday as we bring you the Grand Prix.
Tony Ricketson wants his 5th Speedway crown. But Australia's finest have other ideas. With just 2 rounds remaining, it's still wide open. The Danish Grand Prix, Saturday on Sky Sports Extra.
Welcome back. It's the biggest night of the season here in Speedway, and this weekend on Sky Sports, it's the biggest event of the year in golf. The 34th Ryder Cup gets underway on Friday. Our exclusively live interactive coverage begins on Friday morning from 7 on Sky Sports 1. For Sky Digital viewers, there'll be access to the most comprehensive golf coverage ever broadcast, with a choice of 8 views. That's the Ryder Cup on Sky Sports 1 from Friday morning. So as you can see, the riders warming up the bikes now, and as you mentioned before, Gary Havelock, it's a very fair track to the away side here, and again, these first 2-3 heats are going to prove so important. You just can't let a team get away. You know how close they are on paper, and it's going to be so crucial, isn't it?
Yeah, it's obviously, as I said, it's a technical track here, but it's the same at Eastbourne, so the guys are all pretty evenly matched, and I think you know, heat one's going to have a big bearing on the competition.
All right then, they're getting out to Tatesville. Without further ado, let's join Peter Collins and Nigel Pearson to pick up the action.
Yes, good evening. Thanks very much indeed, Jonathan. Peter, good evening. What a meeting we've got ahead of us tonight. Must be looking forward to it.
Yeah, Nigel, I'm really excited about this. This is the final of the whole Elite League Championship, and you know, it is looking really good tonight.
Mark Laram off the inside in green for the Eastbourne Eagles. Michael Carlson, gate 2 in red for Wolverhampton. Gate 3, yellow and black, Stefan Andersson for Eastbourne. And Jesper B. Jensen goes off the outside in blue. Jensen's had a bit of a disappointing season, but at the end of the day, you know, these two sides start level, and Jensen can make himself a hero over these two legs.
Yeah, that's right. Both teams are absolutely equal. They've got home and away. This is the first leg here at Wolverhampton. The track is in perfect condition. We've got a great night at the Speedway. The weather's absolutely perfect, as is the track.
Look at the crowd in the background as well, in anticipation of the first ever Sky Sports Elite League Grand Final, the playoffs, over 2 legs. And Mark Laram's made a great start off the inside for Eastbourne in Heat 1. He's joined by Stefan Andersson. Michael Carlson is now going to battle with Laram. Look at Carlson up the inside here. What a start to this playoff we've got already. Michael Carlson has gone from 3rd to 1st. That was a very intelligent ride from Michael Carlson.
Yeah, Michael Carlson is having his best ever season here. And he's actually 5th in the GP series this year, going really, really well. And the way he just took Mark Laram there on the inside, just sneaked past him, took the best line, and now he's just accelerating away, leaving the opposition in his wake.
Missed the start. He was 3rd out of the start. It was looking good for Eastbourne, but Michael Carlson, the Monmouth Green track record holder here, going into the final lap and looking dominant. Eastbourne, though, will be pleased to share the spoils in this opening race. Remember, a long way to go. The Elite League title will be decided over 30 races, 15 here tonight, 15 at Arlington next week, and it's a winning start for Michael Carlson. But Eastbourne do enough to pack the minor placings there. We'll confirm the official result for you shortly. Jesper B. Jensen squeezed out in the early stages. He'll be disappointed with that. And well, the Eagles boss Ollie Tervainen, and I know also John Cook is here tonight as well, following the Eagles, the co-promoter. He'll be delighted with the start for them. And Michael Carlson, well, looking superb. There's the Swedish flag celebrating Michael Carlson's victory. Here's the official result. Michael Carlson the winner for Wolverhampton. Mark Laram 2nd in green for Eastbourne. Stefan Andersson 3rd in yellow and black. 3-all after 1 race, and it's all about the early stages here, Peter.
Yeah, it was Mark Laram that shows the best off the start here. Into the first corner, that's Mark on the inside. Into that bend, it looks as though Eastbourne here have got a 5-1, but look at Carlson, really tight there, round the inside, and pulls alongside there Mark Laram, pushes Mark wider than he wants to be, and Mark did very well really to hang on to that 2nd place, because he did get pushed wide. At the moment, the inside of the track is really working. All the dirt is low down. We can see Michael Carlson using that right tight, right near the white line, and Mark Laram really can do nothing now. He's got an express train coming up the inside, and Michael Carlson there took the 3.
Well, fascinating start then, and a big crowd here at Monmouth Green enjoying that one. A great ride from Michael Carlson as we move towards heat number 2, level then after that first race with, well, an important race this one. The clash of the 2 reserves for each side, riders 6 and 7 in the lineup, of course. Heat number 2 coming up then with Chris Neath and David Howe for Wolverhampton. Savalas Clouting and Adam Shields for Eastbourne. And, well, a very important race this one, Peter. Certainly for Wolverhampton, David Howe's been in great form since going in at reserve. And that man, Adam Shields, in yellow and black, a key man, making a guest appearance for Eastbourne tonight.
Yeah, Adam Shields won the Premier League Riders' Championship just recently, which we saw on Sky Sports. Great reserve. David Howe's been going very, very well also for Wolverhampton at reserve, and that is a good stroke of luck for Wolverhampton.
Well, here's the lineup for you. Chris Neath goes off the inside in red for Wolverhampton. Gate 2 in green is Eastbourne Savalas Clouting. Gate 3 in blue, it's David Howe for Wolves. And off the outside, yellow and black, Adam Shields. And Adam, incidentally, part of the big showdown towards the end of the season for Eastbourne. Right to the Isle of Wight in the Premier League, but he's ridden for Eastbourne in the Knockout Cup final at the weekend. Remember, Tony Sparb is the man who misses out with a broken leg, which he sustained in practice for the World Cup for the Czech Republic at Sheffield back in August. Adam Shields guests for Tony Sparb tonight. He did on Saturday in the Cup final when Eastbourne beat Peterborough by 55 points to 35. And, well, that was a dominating performance. Eastbourne looking for a League and Cup double. And also, of course, there's the Craven Shield at the end of the season to think about as well. That man in green is Savalas Clouting, who's done fairly well this season after moving from Ipswich to Eastbourne. Here we go with race number 2. And showing off gate number 3 is David Howe. And Chris Neath is leading with him as well. And this is looking good for the home side Wolves. Here comes Savalas Clouting, though. He's going to try and take out David Howe. Young Chris Neath has the lead for Wolverhampton. Oh, there's almost a collision at the back there between Howe and Adam Shields. Good ride from Savalas Clouting here, but Howe isn't finished yet, Peter.
No, Savalas Clouting there made a great turn, but here in blue, David Howe has grabbed the second place now, chasing his teammate Chris Neath here for Wolverhampton. And this is bad news for Eastbourne, because Wolverhampton can't let Eastbourne get too far ahead.
Well, David Howe's recovered from superbly. There was a bit of a collision with Adam Shields earlier on in the race, but David Howe and Chris Neath, two of the talented young riders in British Speedway, they both have a big future in the sport, that's for sure. And Chris Neath, who rides for Swindon in the Premier League, is doubling up with his parent club Wolves. The home fans are going to go wild here in heat number 2, because they've just pulled off a brilliant 5-1 Wolverhampton, and the Paris International Wolves strike first blood here. Look at the fans, they're delighted with that one. They'll take the lead by 4 points, and Chris Neath and David Howe congratulate each other. At the start, it was all interesting stuff. Chris Neath made a great start, the young man there. The young man from Worcester, just down the road from here, supported Wolverhampton as a schoolboy, spent time on the terraces backing his heroes. Now he's riding for them, and look at the fans there, absolutely ecstatic with a fine ride from Chris Neath. He fists the air with delight, and here's the result. Chris Neath, the race winner. Second place, David Howe for Wolverhampton. Savalas Clouting gets third. Adam Shields at the back. It's a 5-1, and that means that Wolverhampton take the lead by 8 points to 4 after a couple of races here. And that was, well, a race full of determination from both sides, but Wolves pulled through, Peter.
Yeah, certainly the inside start position here with Chris Neath in the red helmet. He makes a great first corner. David Howe's with him there, but just look at the rider in green, Savalas Clouting, come down the inside there. We saw Michael Carlson do that there with Mark Laram in the first heat. He again pushes David Howe wide, but David Howe doesn't give up. David has a tangle there with his teammate, but really from here on in, David Howe just kept plugging away, chasing Savalas Clouting, but Clouting here, again, we can see this overtaking manoeuvre. He takes David Howe very, very wide there, down the bottom bend. David probably doesn't like that very much, but there, a crash with his teammate.
Let's go down to the pits now, and Kelvin Tatum is with the Wolves hero, Chrissy Neath.
Yeah, thanks very much, Nigel. Yeah, terrific start from you, Chris, there. You got out the start.
Yeah, I didn't make a brilliant jump, but managed to just get to the corner and move Savalas off his line a bit and cut back to the inside, and got a good run off the corner, so wasn't too pleased with my ride though. I was a bit sort of not smooth enough really, but make a few changes now and then hopefully we'll be all right.
Yeah, but you settled down nicely, and of course David Howe came through to get that all-important 5-1, but those heat advantages is what it's all about tonight.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, I'm sure Eastbourne just looking to keep us down to 3-3s, but if we can get away off to a good start like we just have, then we can get the advantage right from the off and get on top of them early.
OK, well, super start for you, and we'll get back to Peter and Nigel.
Thanks very much indeed then, Kelvin and Chris. Yes, and I can tell you just away from the commentary box on the left-hand side, Dave Parry, the former Wolves team manager and former Wolves rider, now the club sponsor here at Wolverhampton. He was fisting the air there with great delight. Dave Parry, I'm sure you rode against him a few times, Peter?
I did actually. When I first started riding at Crewe, he was riding in the team there, so I know him very well.
Joe Screen goes off the inside in green for Eastbourne. We have Adam Skornicki off gate 2 in blue for Wolverhampton. David Norris gate 3 in yellow and black for the Eagles, and Paul Hurry off the outside in red for Wolverhampton. Hurry, a former Eastbourne rider, of course, won the league with Eastbourne in the year 2000. Now he's trying to plot their downfall. That man in yellow and black is David Norris. There is Paul Hurry, the man in red then, as we say, looking to get the better of his former club here. Heat number 3, Wolves have the lead by 8 points to 4, and Eastbourne have just made a great start with Joe Screen. Screen has got a great start from the inside. Skornicki's going to try and split them, and look at Paul Hurry here. Paul Hurry has come from nowhere. That That is a breathtaking manoeuvre from Paul Hurry. Screen will try and return the compliment here. What a race we've got on now. Skornicki has third. Hurry leads. Screen's going to take him again. What a speedway race we have here. Hurry will try and go up the inside and do him again. He's done him. He's taken him wide. What a race here, Peter Collins.
Fantastic racing here. Screen and Hurry, they're good mates. They do a lot of grass tracking, but big trouble there for Adam Skornicki. Got it all wrong there. There's a lot of dirt on that corner. The bike just took off and threw him off. But now out front, Paul Hurry seems to have seen that challenge off from Joe Screen.
That was, well, a shock for Adam Skornicki, who, of course, has only just come back from injury. He's been suffering from a collarbone and shoulder injury. He'll get nothing in this race, but Paul Hurry has just pulled off a magnificent win for Wolverhampton. Joe Screen thought he got the better of him. It was brilliant speedway. Both riders really going for it at high speed. They're going to congratulate each other, I'm sure. There they go, the shake of the hand from Paul Hurry and Joe Screen after a brilliant speedway race. And oh, what a shame. Paul Hurry's going to go straight back to the pits rather than take the applause of the home supporters. But once again, Eastbourne share the spoils there. There's the official result. Paul Hurry the winner for Wolves in red. Joe Screen second in green for Eastbourne. Third was David Norris, and 3-all in that situation. 11-7 the score after 3 races. But what a race that was.
Certainly was, Nigel. From the start, really, into the first corner. This is the starting gate, inside gate. It's still working the best. Gate 1, it's Joe Screen that leads into the first corner. Now he just drifts off the line there. There's a lot of dirt down low. Paul Hurry comes from last to first on that first corner. That was fantastic riding there from Paul Hurry. Joe Screen now tries the outside run. He does a magnificent cut back here, comes alongside Paul Hurry and goes very hard into that bend. When he comes to the exit of the corner, he's got the speed there to come on the inside again to retake Hurry. But really, Hurry just kept plugging away.
Well, brilliant speedway there, and Paul Hurry, the hero for Wolves in Heat 3, he's been watching that in the studio.
Yeah, thank you, Nigel. Bare knuckle riding, and a man with 2 broken bare knuckles and a right hand. That's not a bad start for the night.
No, it wasn't too bad. I didn't make the best of starts, but I sort of knew the line coming off the corner watching Michael in the first one. So I knew I had to be there, and that's what I got, and that's where it worked.
Yeah, you know, obviously out there with Screeny or grass track sparring, but it's obviously nice to beat him.
That's it, you know, when you're sort of racing with Joe and Mark, you can really race close together, and we do give each other like a fair bit of room, so yeah, it's cool.
How's the track out there? Looks good.
It's not too bad. It's a little slick than what we wanted, really, but yeah, we've got to make the most of it, and at the moment it's working okay.
Excellent, good ride, mate.
Well done again. Well, it takes 2 to make a race, and Mean Joe Green is down in the pits with Kelvin.
Thanks very much, Jonathan. What a race that was. That really was quite a highlight of the night so far. Joe, you were racing against your old friend Paul there, inside, outside, action all the way.
Yeah, I just totally missed the corner. I went in too hard, caught a bit of grip going in, and end of race really. It is a bit tricky, the track. You've got to ride right on the pole line, and I don't know, when you're a racer and you get a bit excited, you seem to shoot past it.
Well, if we're going to have that sort of action tonight, obviously those sort of little mistakes obviously great for us to watch, but it was a great start for you in lots of ways, but it is, like you say, you've got to stay on the inside.
Yeah, definitely. You know, the first few, I think it's going to make dirt later on, but it's going to take about 6 or 7 races, and then hopefully, fingers crossed, it will make a berm.
Okay, thanks very much, Joe. Super ride. We'll get back to the commentary team with Peter Collins and Nigel Pearson.
Thanks very much indeed then, Kelvin. Yes, and heat number 4 is coming up, and well, already we've had plenty of drama and incident in this playoff. We expected that, of course. Remember, this is the first ever Sky Sports Elite League playoff grand final. Eastbourne did finish top of the regular Elite League standings after 32 meetings ahead of Wolverhampton, so they will, well, perhaps claim that they deserve to be league champions, but they started level going into this grand final playoff first leg. The return at Arlington Stadium next Wednesday, October the 2nd. That won't be for the faint-hearted next Wednesday, and of course you can see it here on Sky Sports. Heat number 4 coming up then. Let's take you through the lineup for this one. Adam Shields, who finished last in his first ride, he goes off the inside in yellow and black. David Howe of Wolverhampton, gate 2 in blue. Gate 3 in green for the Eastbourne Eagles is Dean Barker, and off the outside in red, it's Peter Carlson. Surely Peter Carlson, the man to watch here, Peter. He really is a track specialist, isn't he?
Oh, he is, yes, Nigel. I mean, he's so experienced around this circuit. He's been here a lot of years, and the older brother of the Michael Carlson, the 2 Carlson brothers, but such a good rider.
Got his testimonial here next year as well, so perhaps that's the biggest hint you're going to get yet, that he'll be back here in Wolverhampton colours next season. There's the crowd really getting behind the teams tonight. course, plenty of Wolverhampton support here as we go into heat number 4. And that's a great start from David Howe off gate 2. And Peter Carlson is going to join him. And those home fans are going absolutely bananas here, because Wolves are looking good for another 5-1 in race number 4. Peter Carlson will go into the second lap looking over his shoulder to protect the interests of his teammate David Howe. Howe's going to come under a bit of pressure from Dean Barker, but it's looking good for Wolverhampton again here, Peter Collins.
It certainly is. Wolverhampton extending this lead now with this one. If they get a 5-1 here, it will really put them well in front, and Eastbourne really need to do something to get back into this match.
Peter Carlson leading the way then for Wolverhampton in red. Second is his colleague David Howe, and third at the moment in green is Dean Barker. Into the final lap we go then. Peter Carlson, the smooth, silky skills and style of Peter Carlson, the super Swede, he really is great to watch anywhere. Just look at him, he makes it look so easy. And as he takes the checkered flag, the home fans go crazy, because David Howe has just joined him as well. And Wolverhampton have opened up a comfortable 8-point lead. That, of course, means that Ollie Tervainen and John Cook, the Eastbourne management, now have the capability to use the tactical substitute facility. But Wolverhampton will describe it as so far so good, because that was great riding from these two as they come round in front of the home fans. Peter Carlson and David Howe, and look at them celebrating with Mr. Wolfair as well. Peter Carlson, the race winner for Wolverhampton. Second, David Howe, also for Wolves. Third in green was Dean Barker, and off the outside, yellow and black, was Adam Shields. 5-1 to Wolverhampton. They lead now by 16 points to 8. Great atmosphere, great crowd, great racing. This is the Sky Sports Elite League playoffs. Can the Eagles hit back? We'll find out in a few moments' time.
Well, it's looking pretty bright in the Black Country at the moment as Wolverhampton lead it 16-8 over Eastbourne. They're tough rivals all season. And we said at the beginning of the evening that Wolverhampton needed to get a very good lead going into next week at Eastbourne, because it's going to be very hard to beat the Eagles at home. And so far they've got an 8-point lead early on. And that's a very good start for them. Coming up is Heat 5. Hurry, Anderson, Skornicki and Laram. And Gary Havelock, 8 points already. That's a significant lead, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think what's more significant about it is we talked earlier on about the middle order and the reserves, and we see in the first 4 heats, Heat 2 with the 2 reserves and Heat 4 with the 1 reserve, David Howe's come up with the goods, and that's the 2 races that have made the difference. Yeah,
David Howe could make a really big difference to tonight's meeting. But what can happen in the next one? Let's find out now, once again, with Peter and Nigel.
Thanks so much indeed then, Jonathan. Yes, it's going Wolverhampton's way so far, but it didn't go his way. The man in blue there is Adam Skornicki. He fell in his opening ride, and that can't have done his damaged shoulder much good, of course. Here's the lineup for heat number 5 with Paul Hurry off the inside in red for Wolverhampton. Stefan Anderson goes off gate 2 in yellow and black for the Eagles. Gate 3 in blue, it's Adam Skornicki for the Wolves. Mark Laram goes off the outside in green for the Eagles. And, well, Wolves have that 8-point advantage. And are you surprised at all, Peter? Has it gone the way you expected?
Well, they have got the home track advantage, there's no doubt, but this track is very similar to Eastbourne, and Eastbourne do very well here. They do ride well here. They have won here earlier in the season in the Knockout Cup. Eastbourne beat Wolverhampton by 49-40, so you know, they do go well here, so there's every chance that they could get right back into this match, Nigel.
Well, of course, significant that Wolverhampton have the race winners already. 4 races and 4 race winners. Eastbourne looking for their first winner of the meeting. Could it be that man in green, Mark Laram, the 2000 world champion? Spent the 1998 season here with Wolverhampton before moving to Poole for a couple of years. He had a year at Peterborough. Now he's with the Eagles, and he's there off the outside, and he's made a great start, and so has Stefan Anderson. Paul Hurry will try and split the Eagles duo here. He's going to try and take Anderson out, and Anderson's hanging on there pretty well. The Eagles looking as though they're going to bounce back here with some sort of race advantage. Mark Laram has the lead. Paul Hurry second. Stefan Anderson third. Adam Skornicki at the back.
Mark Laram made a fantastic first corner there. He came from the start, right from gate 4, chopped right back to the inside, just sealed that win there. He's headed Paul Hurry. Now Paul has got no answer to Mark. Mark's having a great ride, the 2000 world champion.
Mark Laram looking good then here as he goes into turns 3 and 4 of lap number 3, of course, going into the final lap now. Mark Laram has the lead from Paul Hurry second, Stefan Andersson third. Adam Skornicki is going to try and make an impression at the back. Andersson's hanging on there. Skornicki is closing in towards the back. He'll go out into the dirt. He's going to try and cut up on the inside as well, but Andersson's done enough. Mark Laram takes the race win. Paul Hurry second, Stefan Andersson third, and the Eagles hit back. That's just what the doctor ordered as far as Eastbourne are concerned. Their first race winner of the evening, and it's that man, Mark Laram. We will, of course, see him in action in Vojens, Denmark this Saturday in the Grand Prix, and back at Arlington Eastbourne for the return of this grand final to decide the Sky Sports Elite League champions next Wednesday. Here's the official result. Mark Laram, the race winner for Eastbourne. Second for Wolverhampton, Paul Hurry, 2 points for him. Third, Stefan Andersson for the Eagles. Adam Skornicki at the back. And it's now Wolverhampton 18, Eastbourne 12.
Yeah, Nigel, that's the first race win now for an Eastbourne rider, and that was Mark Laram coming from gate 4. Just unbelievable start there. He just pulls across the field, rides very tight there, doesn't leave any room for Paul Hurry to sneak through, and really, the way Mark Laram went, no one was going to catch him. But Paul Hurry managed to get second, but that was a heat advantage there for Eastbourne. But Mark Laram coming from gate 4, just look at that. He wheels that bike to the first corner, really gets there, bike length for the opposition, and at that point Stefan Andersson is right with him, but Paul Hurry does that nice inside run to get the second place. But great riding from Mark Laram.
Well, certainly both these sides showing plenty of determination. Let's go down to the pits now, and Kelvin Tatum.
Yeah, thanks, Nigel. That really was top class from Mark Laram. We're just waiting for him to make his way back into the pits because he was just taking his helmet off. Mark, that really was quite a spectacular start and a super ride out of gate 4.
Yeah, that's right. First start I was a bit annoyed because I missed the first corner a bit. Michael snuck round the inside, but you know, he's a bit of a specialist around here, so I was kicking myself a bit, but that one I felt a bit more comfortable. It's creating a bit of dirt out there now, so I think it'll be good.
Just going to interrupt, so we're just going to wander over to the monitor, Mark. It's opportunity for you to see the replay of that first corner. Here we are now. Talk us through it, please.
Well, yeah, it was quite easy. I wish it was all like that. We make the start nice there. I got across the guy off free and got a clear run into the corner. Like I say, could do with another 4 or 5 of them would be lovely. Yeah.
It was, I know that after the first race you looked like it was spinning, but here we see it again.
Yeah, that's right. It was spinning quite a lot, but I've changed gear and, like I said, I managed to get across the guy off gate 3 there, which obviously helps. And then luckily Paul missed it off one a bit, so I had a bit of a clear run. But the track's got dirt on top of like a hard base, so one minute you're spinning, next minute you're going, so yeah. It's not easy, but...
Yeah, it's a little bit difficult to ride right now, but that was a vital race for you because that was a 4-2 heat advantage, and you've closed the gap back just down to 6 points.
Well, that's it, you know, we've got to keep it close. Ain't no good letting them run away with it.
Exactly. Well, best of luck for the rest of the night. A super race there from Mark Laram. We'll get back to the commentators.
Well, thanks very much indeed then, Kelvin, and Mark Laram pretty happy with that, quite rightly so. And, well, that man in blue is Jesper B. Jensen. We are told that Ollie Tervainen and John Cook are about to bring in a tactical substitution here. And Stefan Andersson, the man to be introduced as a replacement for Savalas Clouting. There is Stefan Andersson then. A reminder that Savalas Clouting must still have another 2 programmed rides tonight to fulfil his obligations this evening, but Stefan Andersson will be the man. And, well, a powerful Wolverhampton lineup here, but Jesper B. Jensen missed out on his first ride, finished last, and Stefan Andersson now the first of the tactical substitutions then, of course, coming in here in heat number 6. Well, Peter, certainly at this stage, all very close. I did say during the last break there, didn't I, that although Eastbourne were behind by 8, I still fancy that this meeting could still be fairly close tonight. Would you agree with that?
Yes, I think so. And like you said also, that Eastbourne will be putting tacticals in at the very first opportunity, and that is this heat. There are 6 points in this now, and they are now able to do that.
Dean Barker goes off the inside in green for the Eagles. Jesper B. Jensen's off gate 2 in blue for Wolverhampton. Gate 3, yellow and black, it's Stefan Andersson. And off the outside in red, it's that man, Michael Carlson. Magic Michael Carlson, as they call him here at Monmaggreen. He and Peter Carlson, masters of Monmaggreen. And, well, their younger brother, Magnus Carlson, currently riding for the Edinburgh Monarchs in the Premier League. They'll all be together here for the Ladbroke Olympique individual meeting on the 7th of October. That's the Ladbroke Olympique, a unique handicap system. for the first time ever, all three Carlson brothers will be on track at the same time in a professional speedway meeting. Michael Carlson, Peter Carlson and Magnus Carlson. So here we go anyway with heat number 6 in the playoff grand final tonight. Wolverhampton ahead by 6 points, 18 points to 12 it is, and that's a good start from Dean Barker off the inside. Jesper B. Jensen has taken out Stefan Andersson. The red lights are on straight away, and we can but wonder whether Paul Ackroyd will make an exclusion here. He has to decide whether somebody was the cause of the stoppage or whether it was an unsatisfactory start. And well, we can confirm that the referee is going for the decision of an unsatisfactory start. All 4 riders back into the restart, and Stefan Andersson will have to pick himself up, dust himself down and get set for the restart of heat number 6.
Yeah, Stefan really was just on the outside of that, and he got a nudge going into the corner. We can see it happen there. Stefan just gets a nudge actually from he actually pushes the rider in blue, which was Jesper Jensen, who went right across into Stefan Andersson. We had like the domino effect there. Again, this is it into the corner. The rider in blue there just catches the front wheel and the side of the rider in yellow, Stefan Andersson, and down he goes into the fence, and certainly that fence stopped him pretty quickly there, but he had lost a lot of his momentum by the time he got there.
Do you agree with that decision then, Peter? Is that the correct thing to do, all 4 riders back in?
Yeah, absolutely. There were 3 touches there. Certainly it happened going into the corner. Three riders just sort of cannoned off each other, and certainly when you're on the outside, you're the one that takes the brunt of it.
That man in green is Dean Barker, who's had injury problems of his own this season, of course. He had a shoulder injury when riding in Sweden. And the man in the pits right now, of course, Stefan Andersson, with a little bit of help from Joe Screen, and Kelvin Tatum's there as well. And let's see what Kelvin can come up with for us. Kelvin.
Well, it's all action here, of course, Nigel. Thanks very much. Obviously, when an accident like this happens, if we can get round the back, obviously, Stefan's not even going to have time to take his helmet off, but the mechanic is going to be desperately working here down at the back wheel, because the chains are all going to be full of dirt, they're all going to be full of shale. We've got Norrie Allen here in Mark's mechanic here, using the wire brush to get out of the all of the muck out of the chain. Stefan, if I can just have a quick chat with you. Nothing too much wrong there, just one of those first corner bunches.
Yeah, I mean, it was quite tight going in, and his back wheel touched my front wheel a bit, so I just went straight. His first corner bouncing, nothing.
So the referee was dead right to put you back in?
I think so, yeah. I mean, it was tight for his corner. Yeah. Definitely.
That would, that's the sort of thing that obviously happens quite regularly, but next time around you're going to try and see if you can hit the front? Yeah,
well, I thought I made it yet, actually. I had a really good first couple of meters, then I don't know what, when I came on the slick, it started to spin too much, so hopefully I can get the run to the first corner better.
Okay, well, best of luck in the rerun there, Stefan. Obviously, they're still busy doing the fixing up the bike there for a rerun, and we'll get back to Gary Havelock and Jonathan Green in the studio.
Thanks, Kelvin. I thought Kelvin was going to help out then, and he's almost helping out Norrie Allen. What did you think of the decision by the referee then?
I think it was pretty lenient, to be perfectly honest. I think Stefan's a very, very lucky boy there, yeah. If we can have another look at it from behind, you see he makes a good start there, and then Michael comes across him and he sort of shuts off, and then he's behind there.
Yep.
And he's a long way behind, and to be honest, it seems as if he did touch him, he sort of rode into the back of him and just threw the bike away. And to be perfectly honest, I think he's a very lucky boy to be put back in.
Tough night for a referee tonight, because we've seen in the past that the referees' decisions can make a big difference, especially psychologically, to a team. They can be up for 1 minute and then suddenly a decision goes the wrong way and the whole team just goes, well, what the heck,
Yeah, they can make a huge decision, and obviously the referee's gone with the fact of first corner bunching there, but apparently I'm told that there isn't actually a rule in the rule book for first corner bunching, so yeah, it's at the referee's discretion, and usually they put all 4 back in because usually it is riders hitting other riders, but I think there didn't really look like very much contact to me, and I think he's pretty lucky.
Well, we've seen it happen already to Peterborough in the playoffs. They were 30 all at one point, and then it all went downhill after one decision. Anyway, heat 6 coming up. Barker, Jensen, Andersson and Carlson. All 4 riders back in this one. Let's join Peter and Nigel.
Thanks so much indeed, Jonathan. Yes, well, already we've had a bit of everything, haven't we, PC, in this meeting tonight, with a bit of controversy, bit of drama, crashes, good racing. It's Kelvin helping out the mechanics. It's been good, hasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it is so exciting. I mean, there's so much at stake. The whole league title is at stake in just 2 matches, and, even I'm really excited about it.
Dean Barker off the inside in green, gate 2 in blue, it's Jesper B. Jensen for Wolves. Gate 3 in yellow and black is Stefan Andersson for the Eagles of Eastbourne. And off the outside in red, it's Michael Carlson for Wolverhampton. Heat number 6, the second time of asking then. Michael Carlson a winner, first time out. Dean Barker got third. Stefan Andersson has already been out twice in this meeting. This is a second successive ride for him. He is in as a tactical substitution for Savalas Clouting then. So the riders settle then, getting ready for heat number 6. 6 points in it in favour of Wolverhampton. And well, once again a good start from Dean Barker. Michael Carlson's there though for Wolverhampton. And once again Jesper B. Jensen has been left trailing at the back, just like he was in his first ride. The Eagles will pack the minor placings here. And Stefan Andersson and Dean Barker looking good to block the attention of Jesper B. Jensen.
Yeah, Nigel, coming out of that first corner, I really felt that Dean Barker was leading that race, but the speed that Michael Carlson got round the outside, just look at the lead that he's got. He's almost a full straight ahead of the opposition here, just going like a train.
And we've just seen Jesper B. Jensen pass Dean Barker. We've got a real battle for third place here. Jensen goes into turn 3. He's going to go wide and Barker will come after him again. Jensen battling wheel to wheel with Dean Barker. Barker will come again for more. Stefan Andersson holds that second place. Wolves hoping now to build up that 8-point lead again. Michael Carlson is pulling clear. Stefan Andersson has got second and Jesper B. Jensen has just rode his socks off. He was really left trailing in the early stages, but he's worked so hard to get the better of Dean Barker. He'll be disappointed with that. But that man, Michael Carlson, was so dominant. He missed all the action, really, because he was in the front, but that's the way riders like it, of course. And it was all about what was happening behind him, with Jesper B. Jensen getting that third place. And here are the Wolves fans really enjoying themselves here. Some great speedway on show here tonight at Monmouth Green. Michael Carlson, the race winner. Second place went to the tactical sub, Stefan Andersson. Jesper B. Jensen gets a vital third place. Just how crucial will that prove to be in the final analysis of this Sky Sports Elite League Grand Final? Wolves lead by 22-14.
Yeah, I just want to see this one again. Michael Carlson coming again from gate 4. We saw Mark Laram do that, but look how wide he goes. He's very wide. It looks as though Barker's going to come up the inside, but Michael Carlson really knows this circuit well, and there is a lot of dirt out there, a lot of grip, and Michael Carlson really is using that. But a great race here between Dean Barker here in yellow and the rider in blue there, Jesper Jensen. Now Jensen's not been going as well as he could have been of recently, but he just hangs on to that third place, and that could be crucial because the point score really is very close, and they're only 8 points ahead now, Wolverhampton.
Yep, good speedway again. No doubt about the race winner, though. He's got 2 wins out of 2. It's Magic Michael Carlson. He's with Jonathan and Javi in the studio.
Yeah, he's just whipping up his helmet and getting that hat on, but one of the men that, of course, Gary picked out. Well done again. I suppose you were off and flying and had no worries about Jesper. He was left for dead at one point.
Yeah, well, I didn't see him, so I mean, the way the track is today, I think we gotta keep getting away from the gate. That's the main thing. I think it's quite slick out there.
Yeah, you know, Mike, everybody knows how good you are on this track, but you know, what sort of advantage is it to turn up here week in, week out and know exactly how the track's going to be?
Well, I've been here so long now, so I mean, that is a big advantage. Bike is set up perfect every race. We keep changing it, even though we know when we come in the bike was working. We look in the program 4 races later I'm out and we know exactly what to do, so it is a big advantage.
Mark, you've been getting it all week today and obviously going to Molineux today. What's the feeling in the team now you've got that lead?
It feels pretty good, but we discussed it today and we must go all the way here, you know. It's not over until the last race at Eastbourne.
Fair enough. Let's get back now to the next heat. And once again, it's Peter and Nigel.
Hello, mate.
As we move towards heat number 7, thanks a lot, Jonathan. Yes, and well, an enthralling contest here in the Sky Sports Elite League Playoff Grand Final. Peter Carlson goes off the inside in red for Wolverhampton. Joe Screen, the Screen Machine, goes off gate 2 in green. Gate 3 in blue is Chris Neath for Wolves, and off the outside, yellow and black, David Norris for the Eagles. And PCO know that Joe Screen is a rider particularly close to your heart, and a rider who you must be delighted the fact that he has come through his comeback season so well after that nasty thigh injury.
Yeah, Joe broke his thigh in April last year. He missed the whole of the season, but this year he's come back. He's just the same Joe Screen.
This is heat number 7, that is Joe Screen off gate 2. Peter Carlson's made a great start off gate number 1. But what about this man in yellow and black, David Norris? And the rider at the back, Chris Neath, locked up. Norris looked like he might just take the lead there, but Peter Carlson is going to pick it up. Here comes Norris again. Carlson, though, has the lead. It's all about Peter Carlson then, the man they call Super Trooper here at Monmouth. He leads the way, and he's looking dominant.
He does, Nigel. He's leading this race, but he seems to be just making a few mistakes, and that's allowing David Norris to catch him at times, and his lead certainly didn't look secure on that first lap, but now he's got a bit of distance between himself and David Norris, with Joe Screen in 3rd place.
So Peter Carlson then looking set fair for his 2nd successive win. Peter Carlson, who of course will ride in the Danish Grand Prix in Voyens this weekend, missed out on automatic qualification for next year's Grand Prix, and surely one of the best riders outside of the Grand Prix next year. Peter Carlson dominating heat number 7, but the Eagles are there again with David Norris and Joe Screen. They'll be happy with the fact that they've split the race again. There was a good battle between those two, David Norris and Peter Carlson, in the early stages of that one. Excellent speedway again, and Peter Carlson, PK himself, leading the way, the former Peterborough and Kings Lynn and Bellevue rider, but he really does regard this place as home. Monmouth Green, the home of Wolverhampton, and the fans salute Peter Carlson. A fine ride from him. He'll just go back to check the gate positions for his next ride there. But that was a great ride from Peter Carlson. He wins heat number 7, 2nd place for the Eagles, David Norris, 3rd, Joe Screen, and 4th, Chris Neath. 25-17 is how it is now for Wolverhampton. They have the lead as we approach the halfway stage of this Sky Sports Elite League playoff. Heat number 8 coming shortly then. Can the Eagles get themselves closer to Wolves? Big crowd enjoying themselves.
Well, so far, the Wolverhampton fans have been thrilled by their lead, a 17-point lead over Eastbourne. Great atmosphere here, leg 1 of the grand final. Great speedway coming up later, but we've also got a great weekend of sport coming your way on Sky Sports. More Premiership football coming up for you on Saturday. On Saturday morning at 11:30, it's Leeds against the champions Arsenal. And at 5 o'clock, our live pay-per-view match is Birmingham against Newcastle. Call the usual number, 08705 160 160 for more information. Well, we've said it before, Eastbourne Eagles have got to react now, and they've got to react fast. They've decided with a tactical here on Mark Laram, and you know, well, we've already talked to him. He's riding well tonight, and it's a good tactical, isn't it?
It's certainly crucial now, you know. The Wolves have got off to a really good start. They've got an 8-point lead, and this middle part of the meeting now is crucial. If Eastbourne can, you know, claw it back a little bit, maybe stay 4 or 6 points behind, then you know, they can carry it off at the end.
Have Eastbourne done anything wrong?
I don't think so. I think just basically it's, you know, as we said, down to them the middle order and the reserves in them first couple of races. They got 8 points ahead, and they've more or less kept that the same now. But obviously with Mark coming out in this one, it's heat 8, the race he should win, and hopefully he can get his teammate through for 5-1, and that would really help the cause.
All right, let's find out if he can do it. Mark Laram up in this next one. Let's join once again Peter and Nigel.
Yes, heat number 8, the halfway stage of this first leg tie of the grand final, and a move here to bring in Mark Laram. Is that a move? Well, we'll talk about that in a second. David Howe off gate 1 in blue for Wolverhampton. Gate 2 in yellow, it's Mark Laram, the tactical sub. Gate 3 in red, it's Jesper B. Jensen for Wolverhampton. Stefan Anderson outside in green. Mark Laram coming in here. Does mean a powerful Eagles duo, PC. Do you agree with the move?
Yeah, sure. I mean, really, heat 8 is the time, certainly the race to make tacticals, and put Mark in is the ideal thing to do. I mean, he's the only Eastbourne rider that's actually won a heat tonight, and he was very dominant. He could very easily have won the first heat as well, so he really is on form at the moment. So heat 8, really, he should win this one, and it's up to really Stefan Anderson though to back him up. If Eastbourne can get a heat advantage here, they will get back into the match with Wolves, because they can't let Wolverhampton get too far in front, Nigel.
Heat number 8 it is then, as Eagles make their move once again, and it's a great start from David Howe off the inside. Jesper B. Jensen has made a fine start as well. Look at this for a shock on the cards. Anderson's going to try and come between both of them. What a ride that is from Stefan Andersson. Can you believe what you've just seen there? Jensen will try and come again, and even more surprisingly, Mark Laram, the tactical substitute, is at the back, trying to get past David Howe.
Mark Laram there at the back. I mean, Mark tries everything he knows to get past there, but David Howe's been going well recently. Mark's just gone on the inside though now. He's managed to get up to third place, so really Stefan Andersson's done a great job to be leading.
Here comes David Howe up the inside of Mark Laram. Mark Laram though will close the door. This is a great race again. Stefan Andersson leading the way. We thought it was all going to be about Mark Laram up front, but it's Stefan Andersson for the Eagles. David Howe's coming again at the back for Wolves. 2 races in 1 here. Andersson leads the way for the Eastbourne Eagles. Jesper B. Jensen gets second, and Mark Laram just about hangs on for third place. What a race that was. We all thought it would be about Mark Laram, but Stefan Andersson is the man for the Eastbourne Eagles in heat number 8, and it's a race advantage for the Eagles. They will close it up to 6 points now, and well, that was terrific speedway. Stefan Andersson, the race winner for the Eagles. Second, Jesper B. Jensen for Wolverhampton. Mark Laram gets third. David Howe at the back, although it was pretty close at the line there for that final spot. 2 points to Wolves, 4 points to the Eagles, and it's now 27-21 in favour of the Wolverhampton Wolves.
Yeah, surprisingly there, Mark Laram makes a dreadful start there off gate 2. He rides very tight, he's pinned down low, but certainly down through the inside there, right through the middle of them there, the rider in green, Stefan Andersson, just zoomed straight between the 2 Wolverhampton riders there of Jesper Jensen and David Howe. A fantastic move there from Andersson. Mark Laram at the back really does very, very well to hold off that challenge from David Howe, because David Howe riding very, very well, very hard, took a big dive up the inside there of Mark Laram, but just about failed.
Great speedway once again in heat number 8, and let's get some reaction to the action with Kelvin in the pits.
Well, what a first corner that was. That really was quite a fantastic move from Stefan. Stefan, you've hit the dirt, you've been in reruns, but what a first corner. Tell us about it.
Oh yeah, I thought I was going to make the gate, and I just going in the corner, caught up some drive, I don't know where from, and just lifted going out, and then...
Well, I'll tell you what, we're just going to have to show you. Come, follow me, and we'll get over to the monitor here, and you can show us, you can talk us through it. Here we go again.
Yeah, I actually made the gate, first couple of meters, I think anyway, yeah, but then I left there, you see. I wasn't expecting that, but then I just hit some really good dirt, middle on the corner. I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to get Jesper B here, but going in the corner.
What a move that was. That really was fantastic, and obviously you got your wheels in line and you got that extra bit of slip, but you nearly ran out of room coming out of the corner.
Yeah. I spun a little bit the rest of the race, to be honest, but thanks to Neville Tater, I think he's watching at home. He's done the bike for tonight and it's just working superb. Cheers.
Okay, well that's super racing for you. Best of luck for the rest of the night, but we'll get back to commentary team right now.
Thanks a lot, Kelvin. Yes, and you were just saying there, PC, you spotted it, that there was that little bit of grip that Stefan got.
Yeah, certainly coming out of the pits, Ben, there's a lot of dirt, a lot of grip there, and if you can just get it right, we saw him there just go straight from last to first, and you know, if you can use it, it really does work.
David, so the lineup then for heat number 9 is where we're at. Heat number 9 is where we're at. So gate 2 in blue, or gate number 1 in blue is Adam Skornicki for Wolverhampton. Gate 2 in green will be Dean Barker. Gate 3 in red is Paul Hurry. And off the outside in yellow and black is Savalas Clouting. This is heat number 9. No changes then, so the Eagles resist the temptation. Confirmation of the lineup there. Skornicki off the inside, then it's Barker off 2, Hurry off 3, Clouting off the outside. Wolverhampton have 27, Eastbourne have 21. Heat number 9 of the first leg of the Sky Sports Elite League playoff grand final. The second leg at Arlington next Wednesday, October the 2nd. Don't miss that one. I'm sure there'll be a big crowd down there for that one, and you can see it on Sky Sports as well, of course. Heat number 9 it is then. Can the Eagles continue their revival here in heat number 9? Dean Barker's made a great start off gate 2. He's got the better of Adam Skornicki. Clouting though is at the back. Paul Hurry is going to try and come around the outside of Barker here. Here comes Paul Hurry in the dirt around the outside, and Paul Hurry is just done Dean Barker. That is a fantastic move from the Kent-based rider Paul Hurry. He's just passed Dean Barker superbly. Barker has second, Skornicki has third, and Wolves look as though they're about to cancel out the 4-2 they've just conceded.
Yeah, great bit of outside overtaking there from Paul Hurry in the red helmet. The way he went round that outside in that heavy dirt, really Dean Barker had got no chance. A perfect manoeuvre there from Paul Hurry. He kept those wheels in line and used that dirt. That's where the grip is, and he used it, and he looks as though he's going to win this race, Nigel.
And look at Adam Skornicki here now for Wolverhampton. Skornicki has just gone past Dean Barker, and Wolverhampton are about to extend their lead in some style. The Wolves fans have gone absolutely crazy here. Dean Barker didn't know what had hit him there, and Paul Hurry and Adam Skornicki have just teamed up for a big 5-1 for the Monmouth men of Wolverhampton. Look at them talking to each other. Paul Hurry's probably saying, where'd you get that from, Adam? Unbelievable. Again, it was that drive that Peter Collins was talking about before the race. Will we see an Adam Skornicki donuts? That's the question. We see a Paul Hurry wheelie. Will we see an Adam Skornicki 360? He looks at the crowd and he's doing it for him. How does he manage that, Peter?
That's good stuff, that, Nigel. Difficult with two hands, never mind one hand.
Celebration time for Adam Skornicki. The fans show their appreciation. This is a man who only 10 days ago was suffering from a broken collarbone and couldn't move his arm above his elbow, and yet he has just passed Dean Barker down the back straight there. Paul Hurry, the race winner. Second, Adam Skornicki. Third, Dean Barker. And Savalas clouting at the back. 5-1 to Wolves. They lead by 10 points now at 32-22. And what a race, Peter Collins.
Yeah, this was all about the start here with Dean Barker making a great run into the first turn. But Paul Hurry already using that dirt out wide. Real great amount of dirt there. This is the manoeuvre now. Round this outside. In that grip there. He hits that heavy stuff right there and just scoots past the outside there of Dean Barker.
Well, brilliant speedway. Paul Hurry and Adam Skornicki, the heroes for Wolves. And Paul Hurry's in the pits now with Javi and Jonathan.
Yeah, he's right. He had a big smile on his face when he was watching that just a moment ago. That must have felt good.
Yeah, it does. You know, when you sort of miss the start like that and then pass them, it makes you feel a lot better than what you've sort of been feeling when you've not been scoring points. So yeah, it gets confidence back up there.
And you impressed Gary too.
Yeah, we talked earlier in the show about the middle order of both teams really, being important tonight, and the fact that you've been a bit up and down this year. Tonight you look fantastic. Anything you've changed or done anything new?
I've got to thank Graham Arnold from My Way Speedway. He let me go up there all day Saturday practicing. I went with the setup that I've been using so far, and it's sort of diabolical the last couple of weeks. So I've changed everything back to what I had sort of the end of last year, and it seems to be working good.
Paul, let's take a look at the overtake manoeuvre again, because obviously it's so important for you. And likewise, Adam had a great race behind you.
Yeah, that's it. I sort of got past Dino, and I didn't really think that Adam would follow me. So I was sort of racing like a nutter for 3 laps and didn't realise my teammate was behind me. So, yeah, I've got to apologise to him for that. But now he sort of
he took the celebrations. We just want to know when you're going to get the donuts right. When are you going to do those as well?
I normally do them during the race.
Well, listen, great to see you on top form just at the right time for Wolverhampton.
Yeah, it's good, you know, like these sort of meetings are very important, and yeah, it's nice to get there.
All right, we'll let you get back to the pits.
Well done, mate. Excellent.
Well, certainly Wolverhampton have cracked it so far tonight. They've done what they wanted and set out to do tonight, which is get a lead so far. Can Eastbourne come back? Well, we'll find out. Let's join Peter and Nigel once again.
Thanks very much indeed, Jonathan. Yes, and well, the heat number 10 of what has been a quite spectacular meeting so far, with some wonderful speedway in front of the big crowd here at Monmouth Green. Jesper B. Jensen goes off the inside in blue in heat number 10. Gate number 2 in yellow and black is David Norris for the Eagles. Michael Carlson goes off gate 3 in red for Wolves. And Joe Screen goes off the outside in green. Important for Wolves to keep up the pressure, because one thing's for sure, the Eastbourne Eagles won't give up, will they, PC? They'll be really determined.
It's looking grim for Wolves. They've got to do something quick, Nigel.
So here's Michael Carlson and Jesper B. Jensen off the start in superb style. The man up the inside is David Norris, and Wolves run another 5-1 here. What can you say about this? A bit of a surprise, because Joe Screen is at the back. Michael Carlson looking absolutely superb, and Jesper B. Jensen is with him, and Wolves kicking on here, PC.
Yeah, out there in front again, Wolverhampton really getting this match together. I mean, Eastbourne are looking out of it. Doesn't look as though they're figuring at all in this. They've got to get some more points together to get a better points advantage till they go to the home leg next week. But certainly Michael Carlson is the one that's really pulling Eastbourne apart here.
And Jesper B. Jensen in second place. He has had a major disappointment this season with his form, but he's turning into a hero here for the Wolves. Into turns 3 and 4 they go. The Swede Michael Carlson leads the Dane Jesper B. Jensen ahead of Brit David Norris and Joe Screen. And the home fans again celebrate because Wolverhampton are building up a 14-point lead. Wolverhampton, who finished second in the regular league standings, are leading the top team Eastbourne by 14 points. Michael Carlson and Jesper B. Jensen celebrate with each other. Jensen is punching the air. Anyone would think he just won the World Championship. Look at him here. Celebration time in the Black Country at Monmouth Green. Look at the fans. They're making that much noise. You'd think they'd make the earth move. Well, they had an earthquake here in the Black Country on Sunday, and well, the Wolves fans are really enjoying it tonight. Michael Carlson and Jesper B. Jensen get 5 points for Wolves. David Norris gets the solitary point for Eastbourne. 5-1. 37 points to 23 is the scoreline. Wolves in control, Peter.
Yeah, certainly off the starting gate into the first corner. Again, Michael Carlson in the red runs right around the outside of his teammate Jesper Jensen in the blue there, having a good first corner. It looks as though David Norris is going to get into that lead, but certainly Jesper Jensen just does enough to hold him off, and of course Michael Carlson out in front. Again, another 5-1 for Wolverhampton. Definitely looking grim now for Eastbourne.
The fans, the Wolverhampton fans, absolutely loving this, but the Eastbourne Eagles are made of strong stuff. You can be sure that they'll try and bounce back. Find out in a few moments' time.
Welcome back. A mountain to climb in the Midlands for the Eastbourne Eagles. The first leg of the grand final in full flow at the moment, and so far Wolverhampton doing a great job of it. And it's a big night for Speedway tonight, but it's an even bigger night for International Speedway this weekend.
This Saturday, 3 Australians are determined to make their dreams come true. Can they defeat Tony Rickardson and take the Grand Prix to a showdown down under? This Saturday, the penultimate Grand Prix, live from Denmark.
It's been a superb season so far. You can see the Danish Grand Prix round 9 on Sky Sports Extra at 6 o'clock this Saturday night. You don't want to miss it, the penultimate round of the season on Sky Sports Extra. Yeah, looking forward to that. Keith Ewan and the team bringing you that. But tonight, let's get back to that. Big night, obviously. First leg of the grand final, and so important. I thought when Eastbourne chose to come here first, that was quite a bold move. I obviously believe that they did that because they feel as though they could keep it close. They haven't so far.
Yeah, I mean, over the years, a lot of people tend to like the away leg first. But when we rode at Bradford in the early 90s, we were the Knockout Cup specialists. We won it, I think, 5 years out of 7 or something like that. And we always actually preferred to have the home leg first. Try and build up a big lead, and then you can go away and defend that lead by putting in tactical substitutes and things, and you know exactly where you need to be. But we'll have to see what happens over the 2 legs.
Do you think they can bounce back?
It's difficult, you know. They kept it pretty close for the first few heats, but in the last couple of heats, the Wolverhampton have just turned the screw and they've really upped the stakes. And you know, looking in the Eastbourne camp there, everyone seems to be, you know, their heads are down, and you know, we'll see how they respond now in the next few heats.
More tacticals to come, you think?
I'm sure there's got to be with this sort of deficit, but you know, before long they're going to be running out of riders to put in as tacticals, and you know, everybody in the team has to have 3 rides, and you know, I think the Wolves have done a fantastic job so far, and you know, if the Eagles can't get their heads up, they're going to be looking at, you know, 14 or 18 points behind, and it's a long way to come back from.
Yeah, it is. Well, Calvin Tatum is down in the pits. Calvin, what's the latest down there?
Well, I have to agree with what Javi was saying there. It is a tough call for Eastbourne now, and joining me is co-promoter John Cook. John, it's turning out to be a hard night for you, but realistically, what are you looking to gain from the match? You don't really want to go too far behind here.
No, I think every race is crucial, Calvin. The last 2 races really have cost us, so we've got to put that, you know, we've got to remedy that over the next few heats. We've got to look very carefully. we got something in mind that we think might bring us a few more points than normal. So we're just looking at every heat now, and we've got to make it count, particularly when the Carlson brothers aren't out. If we can do that, then you know, we're hanging in there for next week, and you know, we've shown we can do this to teams at our place. That's what we've got to do. But at the moment, obviously, well, it's very disappointing having put so much effort in to get this far, you know.
Sure, it is a tough night, but I did see you having a bit of a huddle there with Mark Law and your team manager, Ollie Turavainen. Is that some secret plans you've got for the last few heats?
Yeah, we were actually, you will see.
Come on, you can let us know.
Well, no, we're just thinking about doing something a little bit different that people maybe wouldn't do. And if that comes off, then we'll be fairly pleased. We've just got to get to a fairly respectable score that we know that we can go for at Eastbourne, and at the end of the day, we know we're not getting anything out of reserve today, and that's cost us. We've come here twice before with Tony Sparb, and he's scored double figures each time. He's not doing that today, so we've got to do our best.
Realistically, John, obviously you're probably not going to win the match now. What would you settle for? What would be a reasonable score for you?
Well, I mean, it's difficult to say. Looking at if it goes away the last two heats, you know, I'd be happy to get to 30 points, but we've got to turn things around. Every rider has shown that he can perform. I mean, I think people have got to take their inspiration from Stefan in Heat 8, and I mean, he's had a bad run for the last month or so, but now, you know, if he can show that sort of form, there's no reason why anyone else can't. So that's what we'll be looking for now.
But to be fair, you know, you really have turned over Wolverhampton quite nicely at your place, so you can't be too down, because your performances at Arlington this season really have been quite special.
Yeah, we tend to leave it till late at Arlington at the moment, which is the reverse of earlier in the season. So maybe that would be really exciting for telly. But at the moment, you know, we've got to have our wits around us in the last few heats. We've made some silly mistakes coming out the first turn. You know, we've been coming here long enough to know that you're going to sit on that white line and come out in the lead, and we've really let some silly points go, and we're only going to have ourselves to kick at the end of the day, because they ain't actually as good as we make them look.
All right, John, well, thanks very much for talking to us, and he's still got a smile on his face. We'll get back to Jonathan and Harvey in the studio.
Thanks, Kel. They ain't as good as we're making them look. That sums up this evening very nicely, but it's a very good point. Fine, Eastbourne can beat Wolves at home. They've proved it many times before, but Wolves surely going to have a huge psychological edge if they go there with a big point lead.
Yeah, well, like I said before, going back to when we the way we looked at it was if you were 16 points ahead from the home leg, even if you went to the second leg away from home, if you were 6 points behind, you're actually, in theory, 10 points up, but you can still put tactical substitutes in, and into the lead you can go and you can defend. You need 2 or 3 riders doing the business on the night, but certainly, you know, if Wolves can get 16 or 18 points here, I think they'll be well played for the next one.
They're talking about doing something special. What do you think they might do?
I don't know anything special you could do. The only special thing you could probably do is a golden double, but they've already put Matt Lorimer out as a tactical substitute. You can't do that. And to be perfectly honest with it, the way the rest of the guys are going, I don't think anybody else would be up to the task, especially on a small technical track like this. And late in the main, when it's getting slick, you're never going to make up that sort of deficit.
Well, time's running out for Eastbourne. They've got to start getting some points. Let's see if they can do it in the next heat. Let's join Peter, Nigel.
This is heat number 11 then, and well, just looking at what Wolverhampton have done at Eastbourne so far this season. They've been there twice in league matches, and Eastbourne won 56-34 in May, and in July 51-39, and then in the Knockout Cup Eastbourne beat Wolves 52-38. So Wolverhampton haven't got close to Eastbourne around Arlington yet this season. Here's heat number 11. Stefan Anderson goes off the inside in yellow-black. Peter Carlson gate 2 in red for Eastbourne. It's for Wolverhampton even. Gate 3 in green for Eastbourne is Mark Laram, and Chris Neath for Wolverhampton off the outside in blue. So really the fact that Wolves have struggled at Eastbourne so far this season means that Eastbourne really do need to try and claw their way back into it, Peter.
Yeah, they do. Certainly Wolves haven't got a very good record at Eastbourne, and Eastbourne have got a much better record here at Wolverhampton. So, you know, that is looking good when we go to the other leg at Eastbourne on Wednesday. And, you know, really, that should be the thing that carries them through. But, you know, Eastbourne could really hammer Wolverhampton there, and that's what they'll be hoping. And they may have to do that if they want to win this league title.
Heat number 11 then, and we'll see how this one goes with Peter Carlson up 2. He's missed the gate, and Eastbourne are on a 5-1. The Eagles' fight back begins here because they're on a 5-1, and Peter Carlson now will have it all on to try and get the better of Stefan Anderson and Mark Laram. Peter Carlson, who's looked invincible so far, 2 2 wins out of 2. Look at this from Stefan Andersson and Mark Laram. The Eagles bouncing back in style here, looking to close the gap to 10 points with 4 races to go. It was all about what happened at the start there, PC.
Yeah, no doubt, Nigel, that this is Eastbourne's best pairing. Stefan Andersson and Mark Laram doing some great team riding, but they're coming under pressure there from Peter Carlson, who used that dirt that's very low down there on that pit bend. Peter Carlson is such a good rider, but can he sneak through?
Peter Carlson is making ground. He's trying to hold the inside line whilst the Eagles go out in the dirt. And it's going to get very close into the final stages of this one. Stefan Andersson has the lead. Mark Laram has second. The Eagles have done enough. The Eastbourne Eagles have pulled off a big 5-1 in heat number 11 to get themselves well back into contention. John Cook and Ollie Tervainen will be absolutely delighted with that. And of course, Terry Russell, the owner of the Eastbourne Eagles, and Bob Dugard, of course, everybody connected with the Eagles will breathe a sigh of relief at that particular result, because we said that the Eagles are made of strong stuff, and there's evidence. Anderson the winner, Mark Laram second, Peter Carlson beaten for the first time tonight. It's a 1-5, and Wolverhampton lead by 38 points to 28 with 4 races to go. And full credit to the Eastbourne Eagles for that great performance from Anderson and Laram.
Yeah, certainly the first corner was where it all happened here for Eastbourne. Into the bend there, Mark Laram in the green does a great stop there on Peter Carlson. Peter Carlson in the red goes almost back to last place. Mark really is scrambling a little bit at the back, but he's let his teammate Stefan Andersson for Eastbourne get way out in front, and now Mark showing all his class by covering the back there of his teammate and keeping Peter Carlson behind. Peter Carlson really recovered afterwards, but this is the start. That's Anderson from the start. Now great into that first corner. There's no doubt that he is leading the race, but Mark Laram very wide. At this point he is in last place, but he manages just to get a good run down the back side of the straight there, picks that front wheel up into second place.
Well, Stefan Andersson is turning to be the real star of the Eagles show tonight, and he's in the studio with Javi and Jonathan.
Yeah, he's right here, and he is turning out to be the star of the night. But let me ask you first of all, after watching that bad start by Peter and then having to defend effectively partner riding, that must have been very tough for you out at front.
It felt like it was both of us all over me. I just tried, and you saw Mark in first 2 laps actually ride I didn't know if it was Mark or Peter, because I thought it was Peter, and I just went for it. Then I saw it was Mark, and that made it a bit more difficult for me because I didn't know where to ride really. But I think they were both quicker than me, but now it's working good.
You're certainly pulling out all the stops tonight. You know, obviously the team is struggling a little bit as a whole, and you seem to be one of the best riders, and hopefully you can lift the rest of the team now.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I've been struggling quite badly recently in England. Yeah, I find the tracks it's really hard to set the bikes up, and I've done quite a lot of changes for last meeting and this meeting, so now I feel pretty good, but I don't know how many points we're down at the moment.
Well, you're down 10 at the moment. I'm just getting the feeling that, if you can leave it there or maybe just narrow it to 8, it'll make a really interesting next week, won't it?
We said we're going here to win, but I mean, if we can leave it from 8 to 10 points, I think we have a really good chance at home, so we just have to stay not higher than 10.
Well, David Norris is out as a tactical in the next heat, so Eastbourne definitely pulling out the stops. Well done again to Stefan. We'll let you get back and enjoy this one, but thanks a lot.
Cheers.
Great riding, mate.
Great riding by Stefan Andersson. They've got tacticals coming in this one, and once again the impetus back with Eastbourne, but they've got to keep making points. They're 10 down. Let's join Peter and Nigel.
Thanks a lot, Jonathan. Yes, heat number 12. That man is David Norris, and the lineup reads like this, with David Norris off the inside, yellow and black. Paul Hurry, Gate 2 in red for Wolverhampton. Gate 3 was still awaiting the arrival on the track of Joe Screen in green. David Howes off the outside in blue. Interestingly enough, though, well, we did hear John Cook during the interval there saying that he's got something up his sleeve that maybe other people might not try. Well, Savalas Clouting has been taken out of this race, and he's still got to have another one because he does have to take 3 rides. And with only 3 races of this meeting remaining, interesting tactical moves here from the Eagles, Peter.
Yeah, it is a strange one, isn't it? He's got to take somebody out and put him in. I can't see whether he can put him in heat 15, because you really need to put your top scorers in 15, so he's got to put him in another heat. I felt that possibly he was looking to use Mark Laram as a golden double, but that's not come yet. We'll just have to see what develops, but the point scores at the moment is that Wolverhampton are 10 points ahead.
That's the reason why Ollie Tervainen has introduced another tactical move here. David Norris will go in heat number 12. There's a rumour that Savalas Clouting may go in heat 13, which is absolutely something that not a lot of people would do, with Adam Shields as well. That's the rumour, and that would be a shock because they'd be up against the Carlson boys. Just what are these Eagles bosses doing tonight? They certainly have got tricks up the sleeve. It's fascinating stuff, and all adds to the intrigue of this first ever Sky Sports Elite League playoff grand final. Here we go with heat number 12 then. Wolverhampton lead by 10, and the Eagles again have made a wonderful start. They're bouncing back in style with Joe Screen and David Norris here. They're on a 5-1 now, and all of a sudden they get this 5-1, and the gap will be cut to just 6 points here. Look at Joe Screen and David Norris, and whatever the Eagles management are doing, they're doing it right, Peter, because the Eagles are fighting back here.
Yeah, great team riding here by the Eastbourne pair. Joe Screen, all that experience there. They've got to hold Paul Hurry back in that third place position. If it stays like this, the point scoring will be 6 points in it, and really they're still side by side, the Eastbourne pair.
This is a dramatic comeback from the Eastbourne Eagles, because after 10 races tonight they were 14 points down, and they're looking good for their second successive 5-1. Paul Hurry will try and lock up and go on the inside. Here comes Hurry. Hurry is trying to split them here. The Eagles duo are close. Hurry's trying to split them down the middle, but Eastbourne have held on. That is brilliant, brilliant team riding. You won't see better team riding anywhere. That was David Norris and Joe Screen at their best. Look at them wheel to wheel going over the finish line, and that was spectacular team riding by the Eastbourne Eagles. What a meeting we've seen here tonight at Monmouth Green. Joe Screen finally gets it right. He's been a bit of a disappointment so far this evening, but my word, the Eastbourne Eagles, well, the management said that they had things up their sleeve. They had David Norris up their sleeve for heat number 12. There is Ollie Tervainen talking to co-promoter John Cook. They will be absolutely delighted with the way things are working out. They know what they're doing, don't they? Ollie and Cookie there. Here, heat number 12. Joe Screen, the race winner. Second place, David Norris for the Eagles. 5-1 over Paul Hurry. And that's 1-5. 39-33 in favour of Wolverhampton. So Wolves have a 6-point lead with 3 to go. And really, this meeting is full of interesting twists and turns.
Yeah, Joe Screen made a great start from gate 3 here to split the pair, and his teammate on the inside there, David Norris, just tucked in there, gets that dirt down the inside. See that grip he gets there. Joe Screen then joins him, and the pair of them here then went on for that 5-1, and they held Paul Hurry back in third place for the whole race.
Brilliant speedway here, and let's get more reaction to the action with Kelvin Tatum.
Thanks very much, Nigel. Really just incredible scenes with what we've seen on the last 2 races. 2 5-1s, Eastbourne bouncing back into the match. Unbelievable scenes. We're going to see quite a radical move coming out in heat 13, where John Cook and Ollie Tervainen have decided to put both reserves in. They don't want to sacrifice their top men in this top 13 heat. We're going to try and find Ollie Tervainen. If you can follow me in, Scott, we'll try and track him down and see what he's got to say. Ollie, can we just have a quick chat, mate? Quite a radical move for you to put 2 reserves in heat 13.
yeah, well, radical. The whole thing is a bit radical at the moment. So we want to have heat 14. We want to hit back there. Way Peter and Michael are going. They are pretty tough as it is. So we need to get rid of the reserve heats.
Yeah, okay, but certainly you've turned it around. You were 14 points down. You're only 6 points now. Can you hang on to that sort of lead?
That's what we're planning, yeah.
Okay, well, best of luck to you, Ollie. And certainly so far tonight, it really has been topsy-turvy. Up 1 minute, down the next. We'll get back to the commentary.
Well, intriguing team management skills here from Ollie Tervainen in conjunction with the co-promoter John Cook. The 2 reserves come in here for their third and final programmed rides. I think I know exactly what Eastbourne are planning here, because heat number 14 looks a weak pairing for Wolves in comparison with the potential pairing for Eastbourne. That'll be in heat number 14, and it does really make you realise that Eastbourne are prepared to sacrifice heat 13. They're prepared to sacrifice, throw it away and just say, look, this is going to be a 5-1 to Wolves, but then they'll try and hit back in heat 14 with a golden double to try and get the scores close again. Well, I have to say, Peter, in all the years I've been watching Speedway, this is fascinating team management, isn't it?
It certainly is, and that golden double is always there, just hiding in the wings, and that the league title this year could be decided on a golden double.
Amazing. Michael Carlson off the inside in red, Adam Shields gate 2 in green, Peter Carlson gate 3 in blue, and Savalas clouting off the outside in yellow and black. Well, amazing stuff here at Monmouth Green tonight. The first leg of the Sky Sports Elite League Grand Final to decide the league champions for 2002. The second leg down at Arlington next Wednesday. It's the Carlson brothers against the Eagles reserves. And as expected, the Carlson brothers have made the start. They will surely go on and pick up a 5-1. You always have the risk of an engine failure or an unlikely fall. But the Carlson brothers look as though they're set fair for a big 5-1 here. Peter Adams, the Wolves team manager, has always been regarded as the master of tacticians, but Ollie Tervainen is really showing exactly what can be done as a team manager tonight. The Eagles have sacrificed this race, no question about that, because the Wolverhampton Wolves are on for a big 5-1 here, Peter.
Yeah, certainly the team manager here, Ollie Tervainen for Eastbourne, is excelling himself, really pushing out the boundaries, there's no doubt about that, but certainly these last 2 heats after this are going to be extremely interesting.
Well, what it does mean is that the reserves for Eastbourne tonight will have contributed just 2 points between them, which will have been disappointing for the Eagles. It does mean that Wolves will, of course, take an advantage to Arlington. Michael Carlson and Peter Carlson are there for the Paris International Wolves from Monmouth Green here. Heat 13 sacrificed by the Eastbourne Eagles. And, well, the Wolverhampton fans around us here are wondering just exactly what the Eagles are doing there. Mark Laram and Dean Barker taken out, but I think we're about to find out in Heat 14. It really is intriguing stuff here. Let's confirm the result for you in Heat number 13. And, well, it was a victory for Michael Carlson. Second place, Peter Carlson. Third was Savalas clouting, and Adam Shields at the back. 10 points in it. Wolves 44, Eastbourne 34. Let's get more reaction from Kelvin in the pits.
Yeah, thanks very much, Nigel. Really is quite surprising tactics here by the Eastbourne team. Probably sort of groundbreaking tactics, I would say, by sacrificing Heat 13. But they did have a little bit of a surprise up their sleeve, because they're going to come out with the rejuvenated Joe Screen in Heat 14. I think they did consider going for that double tactical, obviously the golden tactical, to double the points. They don't feel that the track's quite up to it for tonight, but Joe Screen had a terrific 5-1 in his previous ride, and he's going to come out in Heat 14 and try and confirm the result, try and get back to a 6-point situation so they don't get too much out of the lead. But certainly down here, this meeting really has been giving us all the sort of variations. Team managers really working overtime. Great stuff, and be interested to see what Harry and Jonathan think about it in the studio.
Yeah, Calvin, we've been talking all season, Calvin and everybody, about tactics generally in team management. We saw it a little bit at the World Cup, disappointing, I think, from Great Britain's point of view. A lot of people felt that they didn't make necessarily always the right decisions, and we've seen it in a few other league meetings, but no question about it. Tonight, Eastbourne pushing out the boat in some ways, and certainly have got it right. 14 points down, come back.
Yeah, you know, obviously they've tried something different, and they were 14 down, went down to 6. Now they've sacrificed another 4 points, so they're back to 10 points down. And if it comes off for them, you know, hopefully they'll only be 6 points down. But we'll have to wait and see whether it comes off first or not.
Well, Wolves have reacted, I've just heard, and they put David Howe into the next one, so that's not a bad move either, is it?
No, obviously it's coming down to the wire now in the first leg, and you know, everybody's scrambling for every point they can get, because it's really important to going into the second leg.
I think it's great and exciting that we're seeing really everybody on their top mettle tonight, because it's needed, isn't it? I mean, certainly Eastbourne need to make as little a gap with the two teams tonight, and I think they really are working hard at it.
Especially for Eastbourne, you know, because as I said earlier, they've already won the league, and now if in this playoff, if they actually go and lose it now, they're going to
heartbreaking, right?
Absolutely heartbreaking. So, like I say, Wolverhampton have got nothing to lose and everything to gain coming into these two matches, and you know, both teams are still going all out for it. It's great speedway.
Could be an interesting Heat 15 as well, couldn't it?
Could be very interesting, you know, especially with the way the Carlson boys are going. But you know, to be fair to Eastbourne, they look sort of dead and buried. They've got a few heats ago. I don't know what they've done in the pits. You know, Joe's a great captain. He's obviously got round the boys and got the heads back up, because the heads were looking really down at the interval.
Yeah, and a big night for Joe, as you mentioned, because he got his 5-1, and I think that's inspired everybody else. Obviously, Ollie and John Cook are doing their bit, but Joe Screen's leading from the front in the rider's point of view, isn't he?
Yeah, he certainly is. You know, Joe, I've known John a lot of years, we're good friends, and he's a winner. And he's certainly being the captain, he wants to win. And you know, when you're the captain, you've got to go out and inspire the team, and that's certainly what he did in his last heat. And he's obviously going out here again to try and do the same again.
Well, let the inspiration go now with Nigel Pearson as he picks up the start of Heat 14.
The penultimate race of this first leg of the Sky Sports Elite League Grand Final. And, well, it does mean here, Peter, that the fact that it's a tactical substitute for Joe Screen, well, it does mean that Wolves will take an advantage to Eastbourne for that second leg, and that is important. But what team management skills we've seen here. Amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, certainly. Certainly Eastbourne have been just doing unbelievable things with the team, shuffling numbers around, and, you know, let's just see if they can reduce that gap, because that's what they want, and they want the minimum amount of points to catch up at Eastbourne.
David Norris off the inside in green for Eastbourne, gate 2 in blue, David Howe for Wolves, gate 3 in yellow and black, Joe Screen for Eastbourne, and Adam Skornicki is off the outside in red for Wolverhampton. The last time Norris and Screen teamed up, they got a 5-1 over Paul Hurry and David Howe in heat number 12. The same again would do very nicely for the Eastbourne Eagles here. 10 points the difference. And, well, Joe Screen seems to have got his act together now with some big points in his previous ride, of course. And now he'll be looking for a race victory here in heat number 14. Can the Eagles get the 5-1 that they crave for? David Howe's made a good start, but the Eagles are there with a 5-1. Adam Skornicki is going to try and battle his way through, but this is excellent speedway from the Eastbourne Eagles. And once again, we're going to see team riding here from David Norris and from Joe Screen. But here comes the pole. Adam Skornicki is here again. Norris has gone wide. David Howe's trying to get up the inside, but it's looking good for the Eagles, Peter.
Yeah, David Norris is very experienced. He can handle pressure. We know that. We've seen him at Eastbourne so many times, but he's being chased very, very hard by the Wolverhampton pair here. Joe Screen, of course, is out in front, but Norris lifts a little bit there in that dirt that we know is coming out of the pits turn. But certainly the Wolves pair are really having a go, especially Skornicki.
Here comes Adam Skornicki up the inside. Will Norris stay? Oh, he's gone down! David Norris has gone down! Was there any contact? Who is the cause of the stoppage? That will be an amazing decision now for Paul Ackroyd. And straight away, we see an exclusion light coming on. And we will find out now exactly what the situation is. But we saw the blue exclusion light on. And we presume that was actually an incorrect call. In fact, yes, it has been corrected now. The rider in red, Adam Skornicki, has been excluded for causing the stoppage of the race. Remember, there doesn't have to be any contact. It is who the referee believes caused the stoppage of the race. Without seeing any replays, of course, we can but wonder what the situation is.
It is. Well, perhaps so, but I'm quite convinced that I'm happy that he was knocked off, Peter.
Why don't you take the time to make sure that you've got it absolutely correct? I know you stopped the race. I can see the red light. Yeah, very good decision.
Can I talk to you? Take this before you go. Decision for you there.
Well, Kelvin Tatum is there in the pits. Let's hear what Peter Adams, the team manager, has got to say.
So we'll start again, Pete. That's a tough decision for you. You've obviously had a chat with the referee. What are your thoughts on it?
I think in such an important match as this, he should have taken the trouble and the time, you know, to have looked at the replay to make sure that he's got that decision absolutely right. You can tell from the reaction of the crowd and, you know, everybody down here in the pits that we think he's got that wrong. But he's the referee, you know, we have to go along with his decisions, but I think that was a poor one.
Well, obviously, from your point of view, it was a crucial race. You know, Eastbourne have been putting you under a bit of pressure in the recent heats, and their tactics obviously have been quite surprising, and it was an important race for you.
Well, they're all important races, you know, but as I said, I think that this referee's son was here last week, and before he made decisions such as that, he took the time, you know, to look at the television. I mean, you've got all the technology here, and as you say, there's a lot hinging on these things, so it's important that these decisions are right, and I particularly think that was wrong.
Okay, Pete, well, thanks very much for talking to us. We're going to get back to the studio with Gary and Jonathan.
Yeah, thanks, and obviously it happened right in front of us. What were your thoughts on it?
It was obviously hard racing. It's difficult to see without seeing the replay, but
yeah, it was one of the closest races we've had all night, wasn't it?
I feel Peter Adams got an excellent point there. The fact that as soon as the incident happened, the referee put the red lights on straight away, and here we go.
Here it is.
Yeah, you see Adam coming down the inside of David there. Yeah.
Well, the race has been declared. A result.
Yeah. I mean, it's a difficult one. It looks like he might have might have actually just took his leg away there. And if you take the leg away, you instantly fall. You know, your leg's like your anchor on the floor, and you know, it's difficult to say. But like Peter Adams said, it's got technology there. You know, you should use it basically. And,
well, you can hear there's a lot of rumble here in the Black Country. The fans from Wolverhampton not happy, but the result sticks. Screen, Norris, Howe, Skornicki. That's how it's resulted, and obviously that's why you're hearing the boos. That's why it's 45-39, and it's ever closer. Eastbourne are literally game on for them. They've done exactly what they wanted now out of tonight's match.
Yeah, you know, that was a vital race, and it's certainly a vital result with the exclusion. And
it could be massive going into next week, couldn't it?
They're only 6 points behind now, and you know, if they can get anything out of this last race, they're going to be in pole position.
And at the beginning of the night, they'd have been delighted with that 6 points.
Yeah, I'm sure they would have, especially the way they go around their own circuit.
Remember though, there's still one heat to go. Heat 15 to come, and Kelvin's with the managers.
Yeah, thanks very much, Jonathan. It's quite a dramatic sort of happening. That really was quite a contentious decision by the referee there, but a lot of pressure on every race, as Pete Adams was saying. First of all, we'll get the coin toss over, and then we'll have a quick chat. If Peter, you can toss the coin, and I'll ask Ollie to call, please.
All righty. Heads.
And heads it is. So, Ollie, I'm going to have to ask you, first of all, which case you're going to take?
1 and 3.
You're going to take 1 and 3, and who's going to be riding for you?
Mark Ram and Stefan Anderson.
Okay, they've been performing very well for you, but as regards to the match overall, you must be delighted the way things have turned out, because for a moment there, it looked like the meat's away from you. You were 14 points down, but now you're back in the hunt, just 6 points back.
Just need to get that last hit over, but yeah, I'm much more happier now than it was, you know, before the interval. Have to keep as close as we can, and you know, we do the business in Eastbourne then.
Okay, well, congratulations to yourself and John. You've done a great job tonight. Just coming back to Pete Adams, obviously he wasn't particularly happy the last time we spoke to him. Pete, tough decision for you, but Eastbourne have done a pretty decent job here, because it looked like you were controlling the match, and they have clawed their way back into it.
Yeah, you know, they sort of got going after the interval, and they've had a few successes, and as you say, they've done well, you know, so good luck to them.
But obviously you've got your top 2 boys coming out in Heat 15. You know, a 5-1 could well be on the cards for you.
Well, they've got their top 2 out, that's the problem. But we'll see, you know. I mean, as I said earlier on, I'm not a target setter in these 2-leg matches, you know. It's who's winning at the end of 30 heats that matters. And we've had happy times at Eastbourne in the past, not particularly this season, but we can do a good job there, you know, and we'll see what we can do.
Okay, Pete, well, obviously, you know, you have had a couple of difficult matches down at Eastbourne, but do you feel this time you're going to be in a better frame of mind, maybe a slightly more confidence when you go back down to Arlington?
Probably, you know. I think that we're sort of hitting form at the right time, and Eastbourne, you know, to me, don't look as good a team as they were when they were here earlier on in the season. But there's going to be a lot to play for down there, obviously, and, you know, we hope that we can give them a close match and hang on to whatever advantage we've got.
Okay, well, thanks very much for talking to us. Concise as ever, Pete Adams there, a great campaigner in the speedway scenes. Let's get back to the studio and see what Jonathan and Javi are up to.
Yeah, he doesn't mince his words, does he? Yeah, they've got their 2 best out for Heat 15. That's a good point. But I actually don't think that Wolves will be going to be too worried, because it's such a one-off, because there's so much pressure, the whole league title. And I think we've seen a little bit of Eastbourne reacting to that pressure tonight. They don't like the fact that really everybody's gunning at them, and it's you know, it's a one-off thing next week. Anything can happen, can't it?
Anything can happen, and you know, certainly, like you say, Eastbourne started off reasonably okay today, and during the middle sort of heats and before the interval, they looked dead and buried to me. Looking in the pits, all the heads are down, and you know, you got to say fair play and take your hat off them, because they fought back brilliantly, and they showed why they've won the league over the first part of the campaign, and you know, I certainly feel they're going to be the happier of the 2 sides come the end of it.
As Kelvin predicting, it could be a 5-1. You know, the Carlson brothers on great form, but it's going to be a hard call. It's been so close, the racing tonight. Superb.
Yeah, it's been a great meeting, and it's good to see, you know, really close, as I said earlier about the previous playoffs have been a bit lopsided, and you know, tonight it's really shown 2 teams who are bang on form.
Well, certainly the first and second side as they finished in the league, giving us everything they wanted from the first leg of the grand final. 1 more to go next week, but 1 more heat to go now. Let's join Peter and Nigel one more time.
Well, what a night we've had here. It really has been a wonderful night of speedway, hasn't it? With drama, controversy, great racing, a few crashes here and there as well, Peter. It's It really has been thrilling stuff all night, hasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it looked as though Wolverhampton were just going to make mincemeat of Eastbourne, and now we've got one heat to go, and you know, Wolverhampton are only 6 points ahead, Nigel.
Stefan Anderson's off the inside in green for Eastbourne in heat 15. Gate 2 in red is Michael Carlson for Wolverhampton. Gate 3 yellow and black, it's Mark Moran for the Eagles, and Peter Carlson goes off the outside in blue for Wolverhampton. 6 points the difference. Of course, it does mean that Wolverhampton will win tonight and take some sort of advantage down to Arlington next Wednesday for the grand final second leg to decide the Sky Sports Elite League champions. If Wolves get a 5-1 here, they'll take a 10-point advantage, which, well, still it would be very, very delicately poised. But if Eastbourne can split the Carlsons and even get some sort of race advantage here, they will be hot favourites to go on and take the championship. And, well, controversy in heat 14 with that spill, of course. I can tell you the Wolves fans were furious when they saw the replays come on the screen, but the referee, Paul Ackroyd, was actually making the decision, not necessarily where there's any contact, but who he believed caused the stoppage of the race, and he believed on that occasion it was Adam Skornicki. So heat number 15 is here then, 6 points in it, 45-39. Michael Carlson's made a good start off the inside, and Wolves are on a 5-1. This will be just the tonic that Wolves need to go into the second leg at Arlington next Wednesday. The Carlson brothers are together. Can they be split here? Mark Laram is not finished yet, believe you me. Here he comes, Mark Laram round the outside. Can the Carlsons hang on? They need to team right here because Mark Laram is hot on the tail of Michael Carlson.
There's such a lot of at stake here. The league title's at stake. Mark Laram's trying everything round the outside, but that dirt just not holding him up. But now he's got a better line there. That front wheel's just lifting. He has got outside to go out. He loves that outside. Can he just gain that advantage, Nigel?
He has! Mark Laram is here! No doubt about it. That is a brilliant ride from Mark Laram. Will he go past Peter Carlson? He's going to go into the dirt in the closing stages. Carlson will look up. Here comes Laram. Oh, what a speedway race that was. And down into the fence has gone Peter Carlson. Carlson has hit the fence. What can we say about that? A dramatic end to the Sky Sports Elite League Grand Final. Here comes the verdict. Oh, look, can it get any closer than that?
How do you split that, Nigel? I have no idea. That was so close. I couldn't say.
When did you last see a dead heat, PC? Unbelievable. The referee is just delaying his decision whilst he...
I don't think we've seen a dead heat on Sky Sports before, Nigel.
How would you call it, Peter? Let me put you on the spot.
Well, we've got shadows, haven't we? These shadows are confusing us because, you know, I looked at the line and I just couldn't distinguish the shadows from that front wheel.
Oh, what? It's just impossible, isn't it? I think the referee has now said that he will now call the race. We're pleased to report that Peter Carlson is up on his feet anyway after that spill. That's another angle, Peter. It's not
yeah, I think really Peter Carlson got that on the outside. Just. Well,
thankfully Peter Carlson has. Thankfully Peter Carlson is up and he's okay. There's with his engine tuner Graham Jones, who does a great job. And I can confirm now that the rider in blue, Peter Carlson, has won the race. And that's just been announced, and the fans are absolutely delighted with that. It was really unbelievable speedway, wasn't it? Peter Carlson takes the victory then in heat number 15. But Mark Laram, well, unbelievable stuff. He'll get the second place with Michael Carlson third, 4-2 to Wolverhampton, who win tonight's first leg by 49 points to 41. Confirmation of the result. Peter Carlson the winner, Mark Laram second, Michael Carlson third, 4-2 to Wolves. And, well, they win by 49 points to 41. But, well, the race of the season surely in heat number 15. It really was unbelievable stuff on an unbelievable night. And let's hear from the guys in the studio, who are, of course, Gary Havelock and Jonathan Green. Guys, what a great night of speedway that was.
Well, we're just still catching our breath. That was quite awesome, and I'm sitting here with a man who knows exactly what it takes to do what they were doing, and you were quite flabbergasted, weren't you?
Yeah, that was fun. That was fantastic. It was Mark Laram at his very, very best. There ain't a lot of people who can pass Michael Carlson from behind around his own circuit, and I think in a way there they had Peter Carlson was probably the slowest of the brothers, just slightly tonight, and he was riding on that fast outside line. You could see Michael was riding around the inside and probably wanted to be out on the outside where Peter was, and he was just trying to guard the inside. Mark was winding up around the outside. There we go, that was tight. Michael's obviously seen Mark's out there and he's tried to drift out a little bit. Mark's gone wide, cut back up the inside.
Classic Rerun though, this next part, because he just keeps holding on in there.
Yeah, you know, when you got Mark behind you, it's a nightmare. You can never relax. You know, he's turned back wide again there. He's turned it in hard and cut back right up the inside. Got a good drive out the corner. Done him like a kipper.
Now he's instant. Now he's really got to hold on here. Gets the grip again, and believe it or not, says, right, I'll go for first now.
Yeah, you know, Mark's never beaten, and you know, you never settle for second. He's such an out-and-out racer. He's done the same move there that he did on Michael the lap before, and it's almost pulled off again. Inches in it. Fantastic racing.
Almost a dead heat, and I'll tell you what, the emotion, the gamut of emotion going in that huge crowd, as they didn't know what the decision was going to be, because it was that close.
Yeah, it was really close. I mean, the red line that the Sky put across was a bit thick, actually.
Yeah, we must narrow our red line, because they're so close is the racing. But I'll tell you what, Kelvin, he's with the man of the moment. He's got Mark Rerun.
Yeah, what a race that was. It was quite a tough end of the race there, Mark. Obviously, you were quite concerned about Peter Carlson, but what a move you pulled on Michael Carlson to pass him. Not a lot of guys do that here.
No, luckily for me, they were messing each other up a little bit, and I managed to get around Michael, and then went straight to the outside, and hopefully my way of thinking was that he might think I was Michael. And just down the bottom there, I got a lovely run out the corner, and I had to race him across the line. Obviously, I didn't mean for him to fall off after the finish, but I was just long tracking it full out, trying to get across that line first. But I'm glad he's okay. That's the main thing.
Yeah, well, absolutely, it's a great thing. But 8 points back, 49-41. You've got to be really pleased with that result.
Yeah, certainly after the first half of the meeting, the result was good. So, you know, we just got to hope it's enough to go down there with, because everyone's fired up, everyone wants to win it, and you know, we can't slip up at this stage.
Well, I personally can't wait for next week. It's going to be a hell of a meeting.
Yeah, let's hope so. I'm sure it will.
Okay, well, thanks very much, Mark. It's been a great night at Speedway. We'll get back to the studio now.
Thanks, Calv. Yeah, good job. And I just wonder, 8 points, will it be enough?